Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for tuning back in. Today we have this beautiful 03 bone stock 16k mile Terminator, and let's just see what this car is
This
all
is
about.
a 16k mile 03 Terminator, and this thing, it's pristine. As you can see, it's a throwback to what this cars looked like 22 years ago. This is a showroom condition as it gets, and it only has two mods, and I wouldn't say mods, only actually one of them is a mod. Two things that are not OEM, and I'm just gonna get to them right within a second, but I just want you to take a quick look how this car actually looks, and we're gonna go over this car. In case you're new and you don't know what a Terminator actually is, it's one of the coolest cars from the early 2000s. Starting with the front end of this car, it's got an original OEM bumper that was unique to the Terminator. It has a big opening right there for the heat exchanger because all these cars were in fact supercharged. You have the fog lights, and the original designer Camilo Pardo wanted to put some brake ducts for the brakes because this car was track ready, and so he left those openings, but the budget actually wouldn't allow it because, as you're about to see, this car was overbuilt and over engineered underneath that hood with that powertrain. So moving up, on top we have the original OEM 03 Cobra specific hood with heat extractors that actually are functional. And this is again one of those things that they needed to do because this motor created a lot of heat. Moving on to the side, you can see the Cobra brakes. You can see that it says Cobra right there. The reason why they didn't put the Cobra or Brembos on this car is again because all of their money went to that powertrain. And you can see the gap, how many fingers, because yeah, this cars came with a decent gap, even though it's a little bit lower than a Mustang GT. You have the Cobra bash, flush side skirts. One of the things that I said that it wasn't original is the mirrors. All three Cobras came with a paint match mirror. Yep, it's got a little, the previous owner actually hit it right there, so it has GT's mirrors. The current owner of this car is gonna swap them out and is gonna put the original mirrors. Move into the windshield. You see it's got the running pony right there like every other Mustang, but if you look at the wipers are actually kind of interesting. They have this lip, and these are called the, what was the name of the wipers? So the wipers are they have a lip right here, and the reason why they have a lip, they're specific 03 Cobra specific wipers, and that is to keep them planted at the top speed of this car, which is 155 miles per hour. Pretty cool. This is only a 03 Cobra specific thing. Very rare because a lot of the owners, once they replace wipers, they threw this away. They just didn't know that that was an original piece for the Cobra. Obviously we're going to get a peek on the interior. We're going to review the interior in a second. Moving to the side side scoops, they have these lines like this, horizontal, and they're to match the heat extractors on the hood, which is a touch that only 03 Cobras had. Moving towards the back, you have 275s on the rear, but this car, the owner did replace the 17 original rims, and he put, these are 18 SVE replicas, but you couldn't tell unless you know what you're looking at because it still has the SVT center cap, and this is not running no longer the 275 that came stock. It's running 295s on the rear. Moving on to the back, we have the 03 specific spoiler with a brand new LED third brake light. If you guys know about these cars, those crack a lot, but this car, given the fact that it only has 16k miles, it's completely OEM condition. Rear bumper is unique to the Terminator. It says Cobra on the it's got the Cobra lettering on the rear, as you can see right there. And then you have another thing that's rare in today's Terminator market is the OEM exhaust tips, and this thing is original. You can see the original exhaust from 22 years ago See the double tip right there. Again, something that's very rare. Another cool fact about the Terminator is that when they were developing this car, they wanted they designed this original spoiler to be about an inch shorter, but these cars were wind tunnel tested. Yes, believe it or not, back in 03. So the wind tunnel tested to create the downforce that they were looking for. They tell them to go an inch higher, so that's why you get that inch higher right there. So that's pretty cool. Another thing, the subframe was actually cut, a little piece of the body, about an inch, just to make room for the 275s that came on these cars. And yeah, this is it, guys. It's a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful car. You can see the condition. It's a real throwback. Once we go off for a ride, you guys are gonna see it, and this thing just looks amazing. All right, guys, so we popped the hood of this beautiful 03 Cobra, and this thing is just, again, time capsule. When was the last time that you guys saw a bone stock Terminator motor? You can see the pulley shroud right here, pulley cover. That's the first thing owners threw away back in 03. And again, another thing that you never see is the fender filter right there. You just don't see it. Yeah, the silencer, you just don't see it because this thing is a restriction. As soon as you take that off, you're picking up like 10 wheel horsepower. So just this right here. So a lot of owners threw that away, but again, it's one of those things that came original on the car. And if you guys don't know about these motors are monsters, even by today's standards. But imagine 22 years ago, people went crazy once you were able to do a pulley swap, a filter, a tuner, and you were making 430 to 460 real wheel horsepower on these things. These things will smoke CO6 of the era. Even the C6 Corvette with just a pulley, you will just gap them. And again, the best thing about this thing is just that if you put a bigger blower on this thing, you're able to make 700, 800, up to 1,000 wheel horsepower with this little 4.6 baby. And the reason why is that, like I said, they put a lot of money into the powertrain. So this is not the same 4.6 that came in the 99 to 01 Cobras. This is an iron block. This got mainly rods. This thing got a forged crankshaft, and they went, you know, it's amazing how they went through this. But mainly what the thing was that they were blowing these motors within 50 hours on the dyno when they were testing them, and just the rods couldn't handle the extra boost of that supercharger. By the way, this is the M112 supercharger. That blower can make up to 500 horsepower. If you put it, you can make 550. So it's a really nice unit for the era, and actually it actually screams. Another thing that's unique about the Terminators is just that, if you guys don't know, this engine base were clear coat from the factory. So GTs did not have gloss on the engine, and this is only a Terminator specific thing. And yeah, it's just a beast of a motor. But you know, guys were making back in the day 600, 700 real wheel horsepower back in 03, which is just unheard. It's like Toyota Supra numbers with these motors. There's just never been something like this. A lot of people want to talk about the Hellcat. To me, this is the original Hellcat, but even better. It's lighter. It's better looking in my opinion, and it's just the motor makes a lot of power, and it did it in a time with just American muscle guys that just weren't making that type of horsepower. Think about it. To make 400 something to the wheels with LS1, you had to go heads, cams, or you got to go nitrous. This thing, just a pulley, was making that power even more. So it's just amazing. The engine was signed, as you can see, it was hand built. And it was signed by 2 engineers. There's a lot of development that went into these engines. They had to create a special part of the plant just to assemble these engines, and it was just a real effort to bring this car to life. But it is a classic in today's market, and yep, there it is, guys. The awesome 03 Cobra powertrain Terminator, manly rods, built really good cylinder heads for the era, And yeah.
So hey everybody, my name is Adam Spiegel from Port St. Lucie, Florida, and here we are driving in my 03 Mustang Cobra Terminator.
Alright. Is this your first 03 Cobra?
First 03, but I've had two 04s prior.
So this is your third Terminator?
Third Terminator, correct.
Nice, nice. So what makes you want to come back to 0304 Cobra?
It's iconic. Can't go wrong with having an icon. I actually traded in a 2024 GT that I completely built up. Whipple supercharger, full exhaust, rims, wheels, tires, suspension, you name it. That car was pretty badass, but it just didn't have the iconic feel, and I missed it. So I went back to the 03 Terminator. One of the reasons it became an icon is because John Coletti, who led the team in building this car shouldn't exist.
Yeah.
There were so many hurdles and so many setbacks, and anybody else other than John would have just thrown in the towel and given up on the whole program. But the program came into fruition, and here we are driving these cars today. An example of how difficult things came, I think they started with an aluminum block, and it just couldn't hold up to the torture test of the dyno, and they were popping engines left and right, and they realized just wasn't going to work, so they ended up going over to the iron block, and that was a
mainly rods
solution. Yeah, well,
mainly rods. They were paying $8.
Six bucks.
Oh,
$6 a rod stock.
Stock.
And then they ended up going to, like, I think it was like $56. And that's
about it.
times eight.
Times 8,000 on the first year times. So it's just pretty remarkable how these cars. Oh man, I'm so sorry about that. Yeah, this thing it's so nice. Like the interior of this car, it's just. I mean, it's a time capsule.
16,000 miles.
We're looking at 16,000 miles.
I'll do a quick pull since this might be a good area.
Yep. Turn off.
AC off.
You can hear a little bit of blow.
Down.
Well, I think you should go back to first. Never mind. Nice. Listen, it pulls. It surely does pull. It feels as quick as I remember a Terminator feeling, to be honest.
Yeah.
I wasn't expecting that. It threw me on the seat, and it pulls very nicely. Again, it's not 600 horsepower or 500, but you know, the torque is the thing that's remarkable about these cars.
I didn't get this car for the power that it currently makes. I got it because it's so hard to find a stock car, and you know, whether I build it up in the future or not, is where we're starting from, and that was always a worry of mine when you buy a modified car, like what kind of torture it's been through. So just knowing that it's bone stock and it's been probably unmolested and not tortured or beat on too much is a good platform. Dollars and cents, no. Definitely not. You definitely want to buy a modified car already, and
if your plan is to modify them,
yeah,
because otherwise you're just hurting the value of this car. Let's be honest, you throw a Whipple, you're never going to see that money back.
No.
You're just hurting the value, plus you're putting thousands of dollars.
I might just do some tasteful stuff. I don't like this shifter.
I think you should do reversible mods in case you ever want to get rid of it. It'll be reversible, you know.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct.
So if the next owner wants to, you know, I guess a Whipple is reversible, but it's a lot of work to put it back to stock.
Yeah.
It's just a lot.
Yeah,
Once you unbolt the exhaust and you unbolt headers, to put all that factory stuff back is doable, but realistically, no one does it. That special uniqueness feeling when you drive one of these cars is that once you go out, it's like going out with a Viper. Chances are you're not going to encounter another Viper. Right? Unless you go to a meet, or like I had the Terminator meet, and you'll see all the cars. I never saw a random 03 Cobra while driving my 03 Cobra. I had it for 3 years. Never once.
And, you know, let's say I were to go to the, you know, Ford dealership and I wanted to go to the used car lot and pick up something with the snake on it, I'll end up with a 21 or a 2020 or a 2022 GT500. Yeah, I'll spend more money, but, you know, there's no third pedal.
100%.
And half the fun of driving these cars is that third pedal. So, you know,
1,000%. Again, 16,000 miles. You see right there. I love the shift. That's the first 03 Cobra that I've seen with the shift indicator light.
were they normally burnt out?
Oh, normally once you tune it, you can turn it off.
Oh, you turn them off. Okay.
Because a lot of guys, you know, they were like, oh, it's annoying, you know, because it looks like a check engine light, which is not, but you know, because it's yellow, it looks like a check engine light. So a lot of people just, you know, they just remove the. I guess you could tune it out, and then it doesn't like mine wasn't tuned out. Was tuned out, so I never had that light. So
yeah,
cool to see it.
Before I bought this, actually, it kind of worked out because I had a '95 Cobra R with virtually no miles on it, and I just couldn't drive it just because of the miles. It just messes with your head. So I sourced this car at a local specialty car dealer, and they wanted the R, and it worked out. I was able to just trade in the R and pick up this without having to private sell that R. And I'm kind of glad I did. I can drive this car a couple thousand miles. It's not going to really hurt the value on it, where that R, if I put another 300 miles, 200 miles on it, I probably would have lost another 10, 15, 20%. And it just didn't make financial sense to do that. Plus, it's more fun to drive. The R is more of a twisty car, not necessarily a straight line car. It was like 300 horsepower. And
guys, so this is gonna do it for today. Thank you so much for tuning into this video, and hopefully you guys enjoyed this time capsule and this throwback to 2003, how these cars look when they were brand new, how they rode, how they sound. And yeah, hopefully you like it. If you like this video, please give it a big thumbs up, and I'll see you on the next one. Peace.